And we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to Esther and Odetta. Thank you for being the first one in this morning. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra, special, big up, shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town, long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the garbage truck driver. Shout out to the school bus drivers. Hey, school start again. School start again. Tomorrow, my kids go back to school. Tomorrow, already. Summer 2023 is almost done. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others. As much as you want good for yourself, you're a good person. Thank you for being here, and good morning to you. Here we are. Happy hump day, everybody. Shout out to you. We made it halfway through the week, right? So we have the rest to go, and we're thankful for being here this morning or to be able to be here this morning. Anyhow, shout out some people this morning. Devin Gale is in the building. Thank you for being here. Audrey Wright's in the building. Start from last week in my neck of the woods. School. Start from last week. Wow. You see? Time is flying, man. Time is flying. Ain't waiting for nobody out here. Right? Big up. Let me start off from the top. Asserin Odetta, Mr. Article Don, Audrey Wright, Morning Fam and Present Teacher, Wayne Nathan, Miss Goldie Robinson, thank you for being here. Senior Sexy, BM, Miss Michelle Bantan is in the building, Crystal G, Kaz Robinson, Asserin Odetta is here this morning, Nordy Glam, big up yourself. Welcome to the family. Thank you for being here. Elaine Brown, thank you for being here. Donna Davis, Marilyn Grant, Rasta Caribbean is in the building. Sharon Spence is here with us this morning. Bridget's also here. Senior Sexy, big up yourself, and thank you for being here. Lovely Aneka, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you for being here. Mistress Michelle Bantan. I don't think she related to Buja Bantan or Mega Bantan or any of the Bantans, but big up yourself. Gunner Life, Devin Gale, thank you for being here as well. Big up yourself, Karen Notice. Audrey Wright, thank you for being here. Audrey Davis, thank you for being here. Audrey, wait. Oh, I thought that was another Audrey. Audrey Wright, Audrey Davis. Big up yourself, Audrey Smith. Dorothy T is in the building. Big up yourself this morning. Thank you for being here. Main one, Lady Jade. Thank you for being here. Virtuous Fire. Here we are this morning. All right. Straight into the material. Here's our topics. You pick this morning which one, and I give you sex must be up on my mind. I'll give you I will give you 60 seconds. I'll give you 60 seconds to choose which one. I sex that on my mind. Put on them glasses, yeah. See if I can get myself. These are called my Valenciagas. They're my big glasses. If you've never seen them before, right? They help me to shield these big lights out of my eyes. I sex that on my mind early morning for real. Shakira! All right. Here we're going to talk about this morning. So we got Tory Lanez sentenced to 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. We can talk about that. And then we have a story called Traumatized this morning. This story about Traumatized is this man is telling in his own words, then I'm going to read them to you, of course, but it's written, how he won his stay in the UK. It's one bag of something going for him case. And I'm surprised that he actually ended up no longer living in Jamaica after this and ended up in the UK. Interesting story. And then, of course, there is a sad story of a home invasion that happened in Jamaica a few days ago where a teenage girl was dragged from her house into the bushes. We started on that yesterday. We're going to go into it today. She was dragged into the bushes from her house along with other female members of her family and beaten and raped. And of course, she succumbed to her injuries. Right. So, with that said, those are the topics for the morning. You go ahead and choose which one. You have 60 seconds to go. And I'm going to sip a little something from my cup this morning. My cup says Army on it, by the way. Army. Shout out to all military personnel. Let me see. Any topic? Karen Notice says traumatized. Juno Bryant says good morning. Babe, you know your meaning I say beer at 6 me I say and can't stop say sex. So me I say if I sex up on my mind. That mean I have to come help the eye.
Yeah, drink cold.
You make tea? Yeah, me have drink cold juice, thank you. Thank you. Ooh, watch your glasses them fog up. All right, I lost track for a minute. Traumatized, undecided, yeah, man. Mr. Article done say undecided, yeah, man. Little girl knocked out Tory Owen Fuss. Teen girl, traumatized, teen girl, home invasion. Everybody want to deal with the trauma first, it seemed like, my friend. Are you alone? Audrey Wright, I say, knock out the Tory Lanez one first. What you ball out me? Bridget, you hear her about what me ball out her name for. Me say you have to come help me. She said, me have to come help her soul. Wow. That's very wifely. Anyhow. Tory, morning fam, King Biggs. All right, I give you 10 more seconds. Put your votes in. I think it's going to be the teen girl story. And I don't know if you want to start out with that, but that's what the numbers say. If you don't vote, somebody will always vote for you. You must remember that as well, right? All right, Tory, it is. Knock out that morning. And that's how it stopped. Okay, so it's home invasion. All right, I said story. I could deal with the home invasion thing first. Trauma, home invasion wins. Home invasion wins. We never put it on the track this morning like, oh, we do the harsh track story. And it's going to be. Because the story I just have me away already. See? So, bear with the story as this computer start acting like we're not friends. Are you trying to do me like that? Ja. All right. So here's the story. Trelawney, Jamaica. May I tell you right now, brace yourself for this. And if you're triggered, or I should say a trigger warning, because it could get a kind of way. Anyhow, yes, very wifely Bridget, I'm sure she buy up a lot of loan. Hey, Trilla, I'm not gonna stop this with you here. Let me get back over here. So the police have launched a manhunt for 3 men, which I said yesterday that one person of interest or suspect has been held so far. But the police have launched a manhunt trying to find 3 men who brutally raped and bludgeoned a 15-year-old and then attacked her mother and other female relatives during a night terror at their house in Trelawney early Sunday morning. Another child who was at the house at the time of the incident was not harmed. Unable to survive the brutality inflicted upon her, Jamila Cole, a student of Albertown High School and resident of Cotton Tree in Albertown, died from her injuries on Monday. According to the police sources close to the investigation, about 2:30 a.m., when enough people are asleep, on Sunday, a woman, her daughter, and her niece, they were asleep at their home when hoodlums entered the home through a kitchen window. The culprit reportedly used blunt instruments to beat the 3 females in their heads. The injured females were transported to the Percy Junior Hospital in Spaldings, Manchester. Wow. From where Cole was subsequently transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital, where she eventually succumbed to her injuries on Monday while undergoing treatment. According to the police source, doctors have indicated that the teenage girl was sexually assaulted. She was unable to speak in her last moments, but the doctors observed that she was raped. They have confirmed that she was raped. Up to July 29th, the latest data available from the police shows that there has been 10 murders in Trelawney, which, by the way, is down by 60%. It is 60% less than the number last year. Last year, this time in Trelawney, they had 25 murders. This time so far, they're at 10. So the more we take steps forward is the more we take steps back, and it's like we're running in place, right? Because I mean, 10 to 25, I'll take those numbers. It means things would be getting better if they could only stay that way and keep progressing that way, but it don't. It's a back and forth thing with the crime rate, especially the murder rate in Jamaica. You know, 1 year, one place is 50 people, next year is 150 people, but the murders are happening somewhere else in another community, in another parish. So the numbers are never really going down. Politicians just throw these numbers around, and whoever else wants to make themselves look good, like they're doing something, they'll throw these numbers around and say, well, this little girl was dragged from her house, beaten and raped, and she died. But it's only 10 murders we have here this year. Last year it was 25. So we're doing our jobs, you know, and it's not so, because the next place over, it turned up over there so more than how it was last year. You get the point? Right. This particular story, though, something weird about this story is going on, because this young lady's father, who apparently does not live at that house, is one of those situations where I'm going out on a limb here. It's one of those situations where the parents are not together. So, you know, the child live with mommy and daddy visits, but they're not a tight family unit like that. He spoke out about this incident involving his daughter. And let me make you hear piece of what he had to say, because I'm trying to figure out if the man just tell we say him know who do it, or he just told us that this is like he's aware of the situation, you know, more than what he's saying. So let me see if I can play this little piece here. So
15-year-old dead, and her mother, as well as another female relative, in serious condition in hospital. They were attacked while they slept. The victims were dragged from their house in Albertown, beaten, and at least one raped. 15-year-old Jamila Cole was weeks away from reuniting with friends at Troy High School when the new school year begins September. But that reunion won't happen because the 15-year-old succumbed to wounds sustained in a deadly home invasion in Albertown, Trelawney Sunday morning. Her mother and another relative remained in hospital after the three were attacked and severely beaten while they slept. This relative showed her a news team where the intruders gained entry through this window at the back of their house. She told us they were dragged from the house into bushes while being beaten, and at least one was raped. Oh, so you did speak to one of them? Yeah, we speak to her. What did you want? We talked to her hospital and she said she didn't want. It's understood Jamila died in hospital Sunday night. The teen's 39-year-old mother and her 17-year-old cousin were also physically assaulted by the intruders, but the 17-year-old escaped and raised an alarm. Shirley Cole is the father of the 15-year-old girl. He spoke with her team by phone. He believes the matter is linked to a domestic dispute. This internet come out for some feelings. You might be the mother of my dad on one nothing, but can you see what we see? Obviously, them big generation and time like for all level that the house get no matter what money. That's not even about us, and I know straight up from far. A little back with around at the kitchen park in our glove. It's reported that the woman and the teenagers were at home in Coventry about 2 a.m. when two masked men broke into the dwelling. They were repeatedly hit with blunt objects. And the person offended.
all right. So me catch where the father said, you know what? I catch a couple of things. Check me out. One of the things that I caught, you see, well, me pay attention, you know. So if me wrong, tell me say me wrong. One of the father said, the father and the news report is the same. It says that she couldn't talk. The mother said She go to hospital and she talk to her. And she tell her, say, them did try to rape her, but them couldn't get to do it because she run. But the father said him did go up there and go when him see him pick me and she couldn't talk. And the news report said right here, according to the injuries were transferred, they were transferred according to the police source indicated the teenager was brutally sexually assaulted. She was unable to speak. Based on doctor's observation, she was raped. So you see, the doctor, them, police, news report says, and the father said the same thing, she couldn't talk. The mother said when she got there, she tell her, say, they couldn't rape her because she run. But the doctors are saying she was raped. Now, hold on to that and watch this. Listen to what the father said. The father said, as somebody will know the house, and then a stranger will come from foreign, but him also said this that caught my eye or my attention. He said, this will come off of some feelings thing. This will come off of some feelings thing. How would he know that? Because as far as everybody know, right, the house was attacked by 3 men, and the house had all females in it. I believe it was 4 females that were in that house. Auntie, the little girl that passed, the mother, and they said there was another one there that was not hurt. So I don't know if the other one was a female. I'm guessing. I think I saw it somewhere where it says it was another young female in the house. So I don't know if a house full of female or them the only one, just the females, because all the females were dragged from the house into bushes and beaten badly. And the 15-year-old, the doctors can attest that based on their observation, she was assaulted in that manner. I'm under the feeling that they know more than they are saying. Me have a feeling like them know who do this. I have a feeling like the father have a good idea. He knows who does this. There's another news report that came out this morning that says they're urging the family members to speak to law enforcement and tell them what is going on if they know anything. Because the things that the father has said has implied that him know a little bit more, or he's strong suspicions then, let's put it that way. If I your daughter, my brother, talk, or are they in fear? Some place controlled by some people, where we've had this discussion before. I'm not saying that is what happened in this case, but we've had this discussion before. I told y'all before, I said, imagine living in, I think we did that video in 2022. I said, imagine living in these modern times, 2022, 2023 here too, where gunman and badman control your area. I'm getting a different vibe off this story. So I know this is a story I talk about. I'm wondering if this mother is involved with a man who she had some kind of discrepancies with, and them take it out upon the child and harm the rest of the family members. That idea can't be too far-fetched because we just cover a story where that is exactly what's the case. The guy just got sentenced. He get a life sentence for the 9-year-old girl, which we just covered not too long ago. And that was her mother's man. Her mother's man so much, so close, that he was referred to as her stepfather. So my theory of this, the mother deal with somebody and that somebody there after the daughter, could be. But there's another scenario here which I want you to be aware of. And that is, in a certain place, you see, some man will control and run the area. When them say they want the girl there have to go to them. If the girl don't go to them send for the girl. In most of these places, the girl them go to them. And the boy them who hang around them man them cliques and crews, them have the free pick of the litter as far as the females in that community is concerned. I know some people are like, damn, in 2023, we still have places like that to run that way. Yeah, we do. We do. I told people before, there are certain places in Jamaica where if females come from that area I know a lot of guys who always say it. Like, we're Jamaicans that come from Jamaica from we young. And we grew up in Florida here, right? So we always had these discussions like, yo, me no want no girl from over that area there. Me not call nobody place name this morning. Me no want no girl will come from that area there or around that part there. And the reason why we used to say that is because that's what we knew from growing up till now. All the girls them over there, they've been touched. They've been touched inappropriately. They've been touched under bad man manners. They've been touched by force. Them, so you don't want that kind of female there, and it's just a stigma. You know, you don't want damaged if you're gonna pick somebody to be with and these kind of things. So it's a serious thing. So we don't know what really going on in this, right? So, but I feel like the father knows more than he's saying. I'm saying, go talk, say something, but we don't know if they're in danger, right? Dorothy T says not far-fetched at all. Audrey Wright says that makes sense too. Donna Davis says yes, that are true. Audrey Wright says, Father help us. Boy, you know, from when we have said Father help us, you know, from when anytime you question God, you know, you were raised to not question, right? That them used to tell you in a church, when how dare you question God? That's one of the main reasons why enough people left church, you know. How dare you question God? Okay, since me can't ask no question, me gone. And people left. Because nobody in there can answer your questions. It's a legitimate question. It's not a disrespect to the Most High. It's a legitimate question as a human you're trying to figure out. God couldn't save the little 15-year-old here. God couldn't save the little 9-year-old. Why make them endure such torture? You know, it's just a legitimate question where you ask. Why God would have make them endure such torture? You know? Church people always have a bag of things to tell you, and the Bible says, and this verse and that verse. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself for me. Because I not to understand the church talk. Kinda, it's not adding up. It's not adding up. And another human can't speak for God to me. You know what I'm saying? It's your interpretation of who you think God is and where you think God has said. But that is not God speaking to me. Although God can speak to us through people, but half of the stuff with me I hear now make no sense. I'm just trying to figure out why, man. Why? You know, one thing we know about Jamaica, you know, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Nothing is just random. Nothing is just random. About 90, I would probably bet my last penny on it to say probably 95% of what happened is not just random. If you study the case long enough, you're gonna find out that this was connected to that. These people did that to those people because this reason, that reason. Them linked with somebody else. This happened, that happened, them in a dispute, all other kind of something. I've covered quite a few stories out of Jamaica over the years. And I've covered multiple stories where the man who the mother is dealing with violate the children or child once mother express that the relationship here done or them getting at them squabbles. I've covered multiple stories out of Jamaica like that over the years that I've been on this platform. I wouldn't say it's a trend, but I would say it happens often enough for me to look in that direction anytime anything like this happens to a child. You understand? Yeah. So I don't know if to tell the police them to look, but if I was a police investigating this case, I would press that father some more because it sound like him no more. As him couldn't say what he said. He said this I come off of some feelings thing. I just don't want to see this little girl life go in vain and nobody is caught. And somebody who is vicious enough to do something like this is still out there on the loose. Because if you're brave enough to do this, you're going to do this again. If you do this and you get away with it, you're going to do it again. So using her as not an example per se, but do it in her name then. who do this need to get caught. The sad thing about this is, why when we build up house at Jamaica, you know, we have to build up house and have grillings in mind. Yeah. And I was saying to somebody, somebody said, when I go to Jamaica, it's like I'm in a prison. I don't know what y'all see about all this excitement about going there. When I go, I'm in a prison because we gotta have these grills on the windows and on the doors. I feel like I'm getting grilled in, right? And you know me now, I mean, I like here nobody really try style with, because the person who said it was not a Jamaican person. They just visit. So me take offense first. And I was like, this is my answer to them. I said, if you study our culture more, you will know more. This I mean, you know, I try to defend Jamaica, you know. Jamaica, when you're dirty, you know, me, I try to defend you, you know. I try to make you look good, you know, and then you're constantly making me look like a fool. I said, if you study the culture, you'll know more. If you look at our houses, you'll realize that those are like safety measures built in on the houses. Instead of people getting like an alarm system, something electronic or some monitoring device or something like that, we just put grills on the windows. It's just a safety thing. We know how to get out if a fire starts or whatever. And the person said, yeah, whatever. I don't think that's what it is. I think y'all grilling yourself in because the society has gone to shits and you guys are scared. Me not lie to you. When I'm there in Jamaica, I make sure so the grill them lock. Yeah. When I'm out and moving around and I'm free, of course, that's a different story. But if I'm in the house, I make sure the grill them lock. Always. Always. Because I don't want to be caught in a home invasion. You don't know who I watch you from where. And the people, too many people with this mindset. You know? Dorothy T says lots of houses in Philly have grills. I see lots of houses in Brooklyn, New York have grills too. I don't know if they still have them, but down by Flatbush side, we see them. But I don't see too many houses in the US that have grills. You see one and two here and there, depending on what area you're in or what state you're in. But I can tell you that majority of the houses in Florida don't have no grill on them. People not putting no grills on their house. They don't think it's attractive, so they don't do it. But in Jamaica, it's like, yeah, build house, make sure the grilling in the budget. Yeah, and then this is us trying to survive, right? And we take our pain and we make our pain look pretty. Watch this. I've seen some of the most beautiful houses in Jamaica with grills, and it well grill up. But the grills are made into designs. So a welder man twists the iron and bend it and make all kinds of pretty designs out of it, to where we start to forget. You know, say a grill, we have to grill up the house to make sure so we safe in there. Instead, we're kind of distracted. So we're like, boy, them grill that pretty. I saw me want my house grill up. When time me get it, you start admiring. We don't admire the security system over here. We make sure say it work, but that's about it. But we admire the grill and the grilling. When I see if we are trying to stay safe, because things have gotten that bad. One time gone, no house never have no grill, and it wasn't that long ago. Barely you used to see houses grilled up in Jamaica. Barely. No? If you don't have no grill on your house, me afraid. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, family. How you doing?
Not so well. I just want to tell you about the grilling situation.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I had to grill up my 4 windows, 50,000 Jamaican dollars. I live in Portmore. 2 men came in my house and tried to come through my window, and my sister saw them and screamed out, and they run out the house. And in 2 days' time, I had to grill up the place. That is Jamaica for you.
All right. So you see, and you say you hear that, she gone. Just to let you know, so when me talk foolishness. I see what I see. I've been on earth long enough to have been in Jamaica for quite some time. And I remember just the other day, When me I grow up and me I go walk, go school and lick me little foot them I try the road, I never see no grills. When I used to go back on a regular basis, visit every year and all that, me never see no grill. The only people them that used to have grill are people that have money. And them used to put up them big, extravagant house and them grill it off. And we used to be like, yo, the place well grill up and look nicey, like a fortress in there. That time we don't know, say I protect the people, them I protect them because they are a target. See, when you're younger, you don't know, right? You know, so them own bus company, you know, so them own about 4, 5, 6 shop down there, so them own 2 restaurants over there, so you know, say the rich family that was stay up there up on the hill, you don't know why the house grill up like that. Now you older, you know, if you wildly achieving in Jamaica, you more than likely will become a target. Yeah. And we have to downplay how we live. Like if you're earning a lot, you can't per se show it off. Or not even show it off. I mean, in my opinion, if a person work hard and they earn a lot, and they should be able to show off what them work for. They should be able to drive a nice car. They should be able to wear certain things if them feel like it are the people that work hard for it. But we minimize ourselves and we tell ourselves, I show off, yeah, show off, man. You're not for show off. Well, why shouldn't I be able to show off? I've been busting my ass for this. Right? I never robbed nobody for it. I wasn't doing nothing illegal for it. I work my work. And I can't have a moment of joy and happiness and enjoy some of the spoils unless me move far away from me people them and go way around and so and so. It's crazy. I'm looking at the house though that they just showed us where they said the females, how they came into the house. The house new. That house look new. It looks unfinished. It's not paved off yet. It's not grilled up yet. The window them look new. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Hey, morning, SouFLo.
Morning, family. What's going on?
Yeah, man, bless it. But SouFLo, you know, in New York, in Brooklyn, most of the high-rising windows are bars. It's called a child protective service. If an inspector comes to that building and that window don't have that bar, you're going to get a citation. Those buildings get a citation.
Yeah,
but if one of the child jump through that window, it's a big problem.
Yeah, but
so
that's different. That's different.
But listen to this. But what is SouFLo? It's also the house because these buildings they have a thing, a real criminal walking and go into people's apartments. So it protects the people's apartments also.
Right.
So it is the same thing. It is the same thing.
Right, but yeah. But like I said, some places in the US you have grills on stuff, but not majority of the places I've been to a lot of places in the US. Majority of the places I've been in the US, I don't see grills on property, on houses.
That's true. But in the first time in Jamaica, it wasn't really a criminal activity. You know, it was a fashion at first time.
It was a fashion thing at first, and it was a security measure for people who had a lot of money.
Yes, it was fashion because it's like everybody could be like girls. It was fashion.
Right.
At first. But then it turned out to
necessity. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my brother. So
all right, my brother.
All right. Yeah, so those grills where him I talk about in New York, those are halfway up the window and they're on the window. It's child protective thing for, you know, if a child climb up and fall through the high-rise window and all that. But that's different. Most of the windows in New York ain't grilled up either. But people grill up them place, you know, some places. Anyhow, I just don't want to see this little girl. And you know the funny thing, again, there's still no national DNA database established in Jamaica. So when rape and murder happen, and like the parishes cannot connect. The parishes cannot connect law enforcement wise. You understand? So if I commit a murder, I probably shouldn't be saying this. Because, you know, you make some criminal wiser And them listen to you and them say, oh, all right. So me know now, say, you know what? Me not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say it again. I was gonna say this in a way this morning that I realized could be helping somebody that doesn't need to be helped. They need to be caught. But the national DNA database needs to be established still. I don't know why they're not pushing for it. I'm still looking for that leader in Jamaica that's gonna come by and that's gonna run down the list and say, okay, I'm here to make a change for real, for real. This has to go. This must be implemented. All this is doable. Let's start now. That's what I'm looking for. We see election will come again. I see the row stirring up again. But the same things we've been asking for the longest have still not been put in place. Let's hope the person who they have in custody now is actually connected to this. In most cases, them start talk and they start calling names. And then the rest will come out. Let's hope it goes like that. I would hate to see this young, promising life just snuffed out like this and nobody is caught for it. And it's frightening to know that if this type of person is not caught, they'll still be among us somewhere. Yeah. In the same vein, I'm going to remind the women again. I don't know if that's what happened in this case, but I'm just feeling led to remind you again that if you have children, your dating days, I wouldn't say they're done, but I would say you're going to have to be extremely cautious, especially in today's world. Quick story. Yesterday, I went pick up my daughter, right? Went to go take her to her school because they have an introduction day before school starts. So the child doesn't come in feeling like, first day of school, new class, new grade, you don't know where y'all got all that. They eliminate that here by you are allowed to come in the day before. So the parent goes in with the child the day before, which I went to with my daughter yesterday, and meet her teacher, walk to her class, so she knows how to find our class, locate our class first day of school. She's familiar somewhat with who her teacher is. I get to look at the teacher face to face, so she knows that me, I don't know, play a person and shake her hand and speak to her for a minute, right? And then I'm taking my boys to football, taking my daughter to her school. Me in a daddy mode, I'm doing like many different things. And I'm digging in my two boys because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So me, like a impart discipline, I got distracted. I saw my daughter, I hug her. Hi, baby, love you up. To tell you how we hug and love and say we love and we never actually even really look at a person. That's another lesson I learned yesterday. Look at a person. Take your time and look them in the face. When you say I love you, take your time and look them in the face. So I hug my daughter and get in the vehicle. Hug my son, then we get in the vehicle, I go. Football, something, head up off our school. When we reach our school is when me and her are together now, so I get my chance to look. So I look at her and I realize that my 9-year-old has on full makeup. Full makeup. Now, my baby girl loves makeup. She loves to learn how to put on makeup and all that other stuff. And it can be appropriate. She's a girl. It can be appropriate for some places, some things, like playing makeup at home. But I'm the kind of dad that doesn't believe that a 9-year-old girl should be outside fully made up, right? Face beat, as wife of them call it, as one woman call it. So I look down like this. I'm in the school now. But I first noticed when I got to the front desk and one of the teachers was like, oh, Nika. And she hugged up my daughter, right? But me watch people. So I saw when she did a one look first, and then the second look was like this. But it went away quick. So I was like, I wish she sip on my daughter. That's how much me pay attention, So I say, I wish she sip on my daughter. So me back up and look on my daughter like this after she hug her. And I was like, oh, this little girl is here with me in her school with full face beat, full makeup on. And then the makeup look like she gets sunburn on her face because she's 9 years old. She's not no makeup expert. So it looked like she got a bad sunburn on her face, right? So while I'm walking through the school, I'm talking to her now. I said, Nika, you know I'm angry. I'm upset. But I don't want you to feel any way about it. Who told you to wear makeup? Who told you could come outside with makeup? Now we are moving on because they give you your instructions when you get to the first desk. You got to move to the next part of the school and pick up. That's where you fill out all the stuff like for lunch, who's going to ride the bus, this, that, and the other. So we are moved to the next station, but it's a good little walk. And while we're walking, typical Jamaican parent, I talk out outside of mouth like this because you don't want to shame your child. But even though some of my Jamaican parents, them would have well load you up in there. You hear me say? But I didn't do that. I was trying to be. Plus, I'm a dad, and I don't really, me can't be girly, so I have to be like extra sensitive. Because as soon as I started talking to her about it, she just gets sad. I said, damn, I don't want her to be sad because in the car coming over here, she was like, I'm so happy to go back to school, Daddy. I can't wait. I'm excited. And I'm like, yes, she's a straight A student, honor roll student, by the way, right? So she good with her thing. So I shouldn't press her so much, but I'm like, so I'm gonna start talk to her. Hear me out. I said, do you remember what I said to you about makeup? She goes, no. You never spoke to me about makeup before. I said, who told you could come outside with makeup? She says, Mommy did. I pull out my phone right in front of her. As soon as I pull out my phone and opened it, she says, well, maybe Mommy didn't. I said, she did or she didn't? I don't think she did. I said, because I'm about to call her, right? She was like, yeah. I said, okay, listen. Remember what I told you about putting on makeup? She says, no, we didn't discuss it. I said, okay, Nick, I'm going to say it to you again. I don't want you wearing makeup at 9 years old. It's okay to do it in the house, right? When you're playing with all your stuff, your makeup kit and all that other stuff. But going out in public, especially coming to school, it's a no-no. Do you know that a lot of little girls are molested, raped, kidnapped? They attract men attention. There are sick men out here around us, and we don't know who they are. They disguise themselves. I saw me talk to my picnic. They disguise themselves as teachers, even. So one of these guys in here that's a teacher or a PE teacher or whatever, he could start to have eyes for you and want to do sick, crazy things to you because you're over there making yourself up. Right. I told her they're perverts, right? They are pedophiles. People out here watching little children. She's opening her eyes like, but me realized I talked to her about this before and she never, she didn't get it. So she out in makeup now. So I had to go deeper this time with the message, right? So this time I didn't have to get a little bit more graphic about the things that could happen to you if you come outside looking like this. And then it dawned on me. I also said this. I said, Nika, parents normally watch who their children hang out with. And you don't want to be mistaken as that little fast ass girl. You don't want to be mistaken as that little girl that I don't want my daughter hanging out with her. You can see she's already, and I'm trying to tell my daughter all these things from now, from early. And she looked at me like, I said, yes. They will look at you and tell their children when they get home, I don't want you hanging out with those girls again, or that particular one again. What did I say to you about the two girls? Because something did happen in our school, and there are two girls that are way older than her. I don't even know. They are so much older. I think they've been left back twice. Because they're like almost 3 years older than my daughter, but they're in the same class, same grade. She leave our little friend one time and start hang out with these two. And now teacher come on my door when I go to pick her up from school. Can I talk to you for a minute? I'm like, sure. Who are you? Because I've never seen her before. Oh, I'm the vice principal. And blah. I said, I just looked at my daughter. And you could see the look in her face like, I'm making my dad shame. I'm making him ashamed. So the teacher was like, she's been hanging out with these two little girls. I'm not saying she's causing any trouble or anything, but those two little girls, they're known to cause trouble and whatever. So I stay silent the whole ride. When I get close to the end of the ride home, I just laid in. I said, don't come out here and embarrass me. Don't come out here and choose the worst people to hang out with. That time she had ear to know. Don't come out here and choose the worst people to hang out with. Did you feel good when the vice principal of your school came to my door to speak to me? You're only 8. By the time you get to a certain age, they're going to probably be kicking you out of school if you keep hanging out with the same kind of people she's telling you about. So I'm going to tell my daughter, don't ever hang around them 2 people there again. Do not sit near them. I told her teacher, move her around in the class if she's seated anywhere near them. Turns out that's exactly where they seated her before, at the same desk with the 2 raggedy picking of them who are way too old to be in her grade and look like them have some kind of advanced something going on in their life, which I think their home should be inspected. The type of stuff they was going on with. So I moved my daughter. But my message is this, though. You have to be so involved and so observant when it comes to your children and so protective, you know? I don't know if you catch what I just said when I said she went to hug my daughter because they know her. Her brothers went to the same school. Now she goes there. So they know. She's like, hey, Onika. And then did that. And the second she did that, I caught it. Anybody in a room or around me, if you double take my kids, I catch it. If you raise an eyebrow or flinch your face a different way, I catch it. I'm in a know-how, but I'm just very observant, and I'm encouraging everybody to be the same. I guess the message trickles back down to make sure your house is secured. I'm not going to say I'm blaming victim. Make sure your house is secured, especially when you have children. Jamaica ain't like it used to be, but yesterday ain't today either. Remember yesterday? All that's going on now was far less. And we reacted differently to them kind of something here. Now, we're just numb. Little girl dragged from her house into bushes along with her mother and her auntie. Everybody get beat. She get ripped. She dead. And today we're like, oh my God, such tragedy. 5 minutes after that story, they run on to the next story. Like we are beyond traumatized to where this is now normal. So when it comes to your children, you have to go be extra vigilant. See? Shay says parenting is a 24/7 job and you got to be vigilant all the time. Yeah, and we as a people are desensitized to all the trauma. So no matter how bad stuff is that happens to a child, we're like, I saw the thing go. Boy, that rough still. But moving right along. On to the next one. Wake up to the same story tomorrow. So the thing go. Moving right along. That's where we're at now. Back in the day, something like that happened. Everybody traumatized. Everybody is on edge for a long time. That happened in a community, the whole community rally around that family. All these things. And that's how I go again. It's not so I go again. I told you all the story before about the woman and her 2 daughters them and how they reach in the window and shoot the 2 little girl while they're sleeping because they came home and told mommy that the guys them on the road. I beg them for sex and tell them about carry the pussy come give me. I girl no hear me say. And her 2 daughters seem like the only 2 in the neighborhood where them live that dress appropriately for their age, go to school, don't hang out, making good grades in extracurricular activities and whatever. It's like raising and showing your diamonds in the middle of a slum. And a beer jealous eyes upon it. And I was very surprised to see how all the women reacted because they ran that family up out of that community. Them tell the woman to pack up our stuff and come out because none of the man them round here. And it was the man them round there that did it. So that's the type of time we're living in. My condolences goes out to this family, man. But I'm going to keep following this story because I know there's more to come. I know there's more to come because the father has said something that makes me know that there is more to come. And him know more than what him I talk about. Right? All right. The next one I want to talk about this morning. LA says desensitized. All right. The next one I want to talk about this morning is a bit different. It has some feel good to it. And it's a story about a brother that says he was traumatized. But when I read the story, I felt like I needed to share it, right? With a message, of course. Listen up. You see, when you run off and go foreign, I mean, nobody tell us that it's going to be easy here. I know too many people who it was never easy for. I've met people who said it was easy for them. It's an easy 1-2 thing, man. Somebody even told me, stop tell people to run off, not easy. Many people them run off. It easy. It did easy for me. It was easy for you. Majority of the people I know, it was never easy for them. And I know it not easy for them, and some of them been here for years. Anyhow, traumatized. Jamaican man recounts mental torment face amid deportation from the UK. This is in the UK. Shout out to the Jamaica Gleaner for this one, right? The last story, shout out to the Jamaica Observer for that one. There's an update to that one. You can check the Jamaica Observer and you will see more to it. Listen to that story, I kind of long. So pull up your drinks or your cup of tea or whatever you do and just listen. A Jamaican man who says he suffered mental torment and was sexually harassed in a British detention center is exhaling after a deportation case brought by the Home Circuit Court against him fizzled. Former banker James Matthew, who's 34, who fought against his deportation to Jamaica from the UK, won the right to remain in the United Kingdom after a Home Office accused him of overstaying his visa in 2020. Who will leap to the story? A judge dismissed the matter last weekend, a day after the hearing began, because representatives from the Home Office were a no-show to the case. That's very unlikely, very unusual. How? Matthew had his case handled by senior solicitor Naga Kandea and his team, MTC solicitors in Kilburn, UK. We don't need to know all that. So, in a Gleaner interview yesterday, the Rocky Point native recounted that he traveled to the UK in October of 2019 to visit his fiancée, his father, and his siblings, and to attend a christening. He had made several prior trips to the European country. Now, weeks into his visit, he said that the news began emerging of the coronavirus, 2020, which later evolved into a pandemic, forcing countries to close air and seaports as businesses as well. Matthews said that his planned return to the island was halted amid the widespread cancellation of flights and the Jamaican government ordering the borders to be closed on March 24th of 2020 to incoming passengers and traffic. Remember that when everywhere got closed down? All right. So he was stuck in the UK now. Not wanting to overstay his 6-month visa, the former Jamaican national employee said that he applied to the Home Office for an extension, which was granted. That's one thing. I didn't want that on my record because once you overstay, it's a problem to get another visa, he said. But by the time that extension expired, Jamaica's borders were still closed. He received an automatic extension, he said, to July 31st. Matthew said that it was at this point that he decided, you know what, it was just pointless to return to Jamaica. So, me just go living in the UK. Since the bulk of my family was in the UK and the aunt with whom I was close with had died during the pandemic, ain't no reason to go back. He said that he had contacted a solicitor that month who confirmed that he could apply to leave to remain in the country. So he applied on July 28th, and from there, he and his solicitor waited for word from the Home Office. Months later, in October, the Garvey Maceo High School past student said that he received an email from the Home Office with a request for additional documents, which he gave them. However, months later now, and after several checks with his solicitor, there was no update to his case. The dormant period carried over into the first half of 2021, but still, there was nothing from the Home Office. It was just a waiting game. And what made the information seem accurate is that my brother had applied to have his leave to remain renewed, but he didn't get a response either, Matthews said. So there were other people going through the same thing as him. So he thought, no big deal. We'll wait it out, right? Pandemic will go on. The Home Office also indicated that it was dealing with a severe backlog. The year ended with Matthew still in the UK, still waiting for a response. He said he kept checking with his solicitor and the Home Office, but that there was no update on his application up to May 5th of 2022. Quote unquote, I was concerned. I wanted to be able to work and to visit places. My life was on pause now. Healthcare for me was near impossible. My GP or general practitioner said that I couldn't see him without my passport. The Home Office had it. So everything was on pause. Most of the money I received was from my fiance, my dad, my family members, and her family. Nothing. Also, he said, noting that his mother died while he was fairly young. So I never have no mother. I just him father. I'm father in the UK, along with everybody else. On May 6th, Matthew told the Gleaner that he woke up to a loud argument at his in-laws' house in London. He said this was when in the wee hours of the morning, and so he thought he was having a dream because they're not the type of people to be loud and argumentative and whatnot. So I'm thinking my dream. So I'm jump up. But it was UK immigration knocking the door. They came upstairs and they told me that I was under arrest and that a warrant was issued for me. Confused and frightened, he said he asked for an explanation and he was told that, yeah, you had overstayed your time on your visa. He was told that his application had been refused more than a year ago in 2021. He was shocked. The office told him not to worry because you're going back to Jamaica anyways, so don't worry about it. He said he was embarrassed and he went with them with no protest. So he arrives at the detention center now at approximately 6 a.m. and he was criminally processed. He said that he was not fed until hours later when he was replaced or relocated to a Harmonsworth Immigration Removal Center. There, a Jamaican he met, who was also facing deportation, gave him some biscuits sometime after 10 p.m. So 4 hours gone, him not get no food. Him buck a next Jamaican in there, the next Jamaican in there, sharing food with him. You see, so if you look out for each other too, you know. But anyhow, shares his food with him. That's how he got something to eat. He said, as a black man, I was ignored. I saw lighter skinned people came in after me who got food. I was in a truck, and then I was at London Bridge, and then Harmonsworth, and still waiting to eat. His new Jamaican cellmate, after hearing his story, introduced him to an immigration advocate who then introduced him to the attorney that he has now, the solicitor he has now. His previous solicitor maintained that no refusal ever came from the Home Office for you. They never responded to us. Matthew said that although the Home Office, when challenged, could not produce a copy of the refusal that they claim that they sent to him. You see how I'm getting lucky? He remained in detention until May 18th, the day on which his ticket to return to Jamaica was stamped for. While in custody, he said he was constantly reminded that he was to be deported on that day. Get yourself ready. The 18th is coming up. You're going to be deported. We're sending you back to Jamaica. He said he was also handed 4 similar documents with the date and the notes that he was to leave the country soon. That's his little deportation package, right? It was mental torture. He said that what made worse when Matthew said that he was approached by another inmate now while he was in there who started making sexual advances towards him. You know, some of them man here can't get locked up for too long, you know. I'm watching a series from a man called Fleece Booty Johnson right now. Some of y'all might know him from a documentary gone by before, but Fleece Booty Johnson is documenting his life in prison. Notorious booty bandit. And some of the things he says will have you looking at everybody who come out of prison. Because them man, some of them can't be locked up for too long. One of the things he said that stuck with me was this. He said, you know anybody that's fairly young? Very virile, you know, them have a high sex drive. Well, if they got locked up, that high sex drive, it didn't stop at the prison door when they let them in. They brought it in there with them. So in just a matter of time, before almost everybody is involved in these booty parties. Same thing in these immigration facilities where they're holding people for extended periods of time, right? Is a lockup. And you're going to have people in there who can't control themselves and don't mind them just say a hole is a hole and jump in at any hole, right? So he's in there and he says that this man starts making sexual advances towards him. Matthew said the alarm was raised. He complained about it, obviously told them. And Matthew said that his Jamaican cellmate, him and his Jamaican cellmate were later moved to cells that he insists were meant to intimidate them. So them carry them go around and want what's our part because they were complaining that these guys in here are making sexual advances towards us and I go and let them want some body. He recalls that they were unbearably cold, had large metal doors, and only available window was not easily accessible for them to see through it. So basically solitary confinement, them carry them go put them in a. They had to jump to see the window. Jump to see out of the window. British members of parliament West Streeting was also advocating on his behalf. The Home Office could not find the letter they said they served them. He said, your papers are up, time for you to go. At the Queen's, when we did there in England, we get one of them letter there now. At the Queen's request, I said, damn, I must be somebody serious because the Queen are requesting me to leave. I ain't lying. I was on Wandsworth. He used to live in a Wandsworth. And them drop the mail through the door. Me pick it up, send my name on it, me open it. It says, at the Queen's request. And it was on a green paper. I said, damn, the Queen is requesting for me to leave England. It must be serious. Well, they couldn't find his copy. He said that I was also trusting my prayers that God will do what needs to be done. I had been praying since I was in there asking for faith and strength. He said that, and though adding that he remains grateful to the men and the team that got him his papers, Matthew said shortly after 6 p.m. on May 17, he heard immigration officers outside of the cell of the other Jamaican who was now known to him as Steve. He remembers being on his knees, call him come for Steve. So him start prayer, thinking that, Lord God, this was it for me. He would be sent back to Jamaica to start over. But more traumatizing was the fact that he would be labeled a deportee when he got back to Jamaica. He had never been in trouble with the law before, and he had always done things right by the book, both in Jamaica and in the UK. Now, while waiting his turn to be escorted to the airport next door, a call came in from his fiancée informing him that the application for the judicial review of his case was successful. As he was getting ready to leave, the solicitor had also secured an injunction blocking his deportation. An officer subsequently told him that he would not be going on that flight today. He was released the following day While out, he was instructed to report his whereabouts in a certain place once monthly. It was a part of their game to break me, that even though I was out, I had to come report back to them every month, at least once a month on a regular basis, on schedule, or they're coming to pick you back up. Behind the scenes, his solicitor worked to retain the services of a barrister who in September defended his case in the upper tribunal, a superior court of records that is familiar to a high court or similar to a high court. The case was sent back to the first tribunal and an application for it to be heard was filed in February. Armed with character references from his Jamaican-born in-laws and his British-born fiancé, who are medical doctors, proof of financial stability and accommodation, Matthews was ready for his day in court. That day happened to be last week, Tuesday. Finally, which was celebrated as Emancipation Day in Jamaica. The Home Office did not show up for the hearing. They couldn't find his deportation letter, and they did not show up for the hearing. The judge returned the following day after reviewing the documents that were submitted by Matthews. He reportedly informed him that he was successful and he would be remaining in the UK indefinitely. It was the best news I had ever heard in so long. I didn't think that trying to do anything right and by the books would be this hard. It has been a traumatic experience. Had to share that with you this morning. Big up to Matthew. You stuck to your guns and you got what you got, but the man never do nothing wrong, right? All he was doing, he was going through the legal channels. Every time he needed to extend, he applied and they gave him an extension. And then he applied to stay and they did not respond. They said they responded and told him that he was rejected and he had a couple of months or days to get out of the UK, and that was over a year ago. His lawyer at the time said, we didn't get any such letter. The higher courts said to the Home Office, prove it to us. Show us your copy of the letter that you sent to him, telling him that he needed to get out. Them couldn't find it. What a lucky man. And just like that, he's in the UK indefinitely now. I think a couple of things help him out too. The fact that he had his in-laws are doctors and his fiancée a doctor, and him have extended family there, sister and brother and daddy and nieces and nephews and all them something there. So when they ask to prove income, you know, how are you going to be maintaining yourself here and all that? That's easy. They more than meet the threshold. So big up to him. But what a bangarang a piece of a story. All when them a face problems, them still a look for put them pole in a somebody hole. Jesus Christ. Here you know. Papa Jesus. Sandworth to Bullingdon. You thinking the Queen know me? Yes, Vicky, my daddy I think that the Queen know me. I go to England and boy, England nice. Big up to my British family, especially London. London so nice and so very cultured, because everybody there is Jamaican connected or some kind of Caribbean connected, you know. And when I was leaving the US, I'm leaving the south of the US, okay? I go to one place in Davie, Florida back then to go get a job at Publix, and a truck pull up with a big rebel flag on the back of it and fling buckle off of me. And me I hide in a bush and wait for bus to come so me can leave that area here. And the people them call me when we reach back Miami and said, you got the job and you can start on, before them could have tell me which day to start, me say, I will not be accepting that. So I left that environment in the US and people telling me, you wait, where you go? England? Ain't no black people over there. You'll be right back. I walked into something totally different. My first time going there, I landed in Gatwick. I look around and I never see no black people for real. I saw like one and two. So everything that they said to me before I left, I was like, oh, damn. And then the drive from the airport to London into the which part me did I stay? Me I see all these pastures and cows and all these things, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this me are coming now. I'm probably gonna be going back for real. And then I buck up in London, and I was like, yo, I'm right at home. Me see Jamaican flag, me see Jamaican restaurant, me see whole heap of black people. And I say, yeah. So I'm outside now. And I started just falling in love with the place. I'd never been to a soca fete so sweet. One big soca jamboree, just freedom. Whole heap of wine up and wine down. The vibes are just good, man. And me lose track of time. I told myself, I'm not going back to the US. Me I stay right there so England. And yeah, wake up one morning and get the letter there and open it, all excited, and it says by the Queen's request. By the Queen's request, it says you have overstayed your welcome and you have been asked to leave by the Queen's request. You have until Blaman and give one date in the letter to be out of the UK or you will be deported. Just like that, it said. It never said face immigration proceedings or anything like that. It said the big word deported. I said, damn. So I start counting my days now. I'm not even going to tell you the rest of the story. Because that story is long. And I ended up doing some other things. I tried to stay over there and then end up come back at the US anyways. And one bag of something. But yeah, it was too nice. And so for those of you who don't know, there are lots of Caribbean people, Caribbean roots strong in the UK. Not just London, but if you're in London, then you're in at the thick of it. Especially over Southwest London, which part me did there. You're in the thick of it. See, I'm on Wandsworth. I was on Wandsworth. Not Wandsworth. Wandsworth when we did that work. I was on Brixton Hill. Right. Stratton. I was on Stratton. I had an apartment on Stratton, and Brixton Hill is right there. So in a Brixton, we did that. Right? Once you land there, so you're gonna feel at home. You're gonna feel like first time I hear people speak British with Jamaican mix up in it, with patois mix in it. In it. All right then, and them say rude boy. I say rude boy. No, we say rude boy. Yo, it's be a big batty girl down there, you know. Man, yo, mad thing, brethren. I'm like, I'm home. Cause them a chat patois with that British accent. I'm yard this. Me not go nowhere. America can't see me again. See me. Yo, I said America can't see me again. See me. Right back in America, me there. Anyhow, I ain't that. Yo, let's so big up to him, man. He went through the fire. I'm glad him never stay in the make no man bully him off him get him papers, and it's a feel good story. See it? They weren't playing, you got to go. Yeah, they was dead serious. Yep, you have until this date or you will be deported at the Queen's request. Me said, damn, the Queen, them type member, you know, me young, you know. The Queen to me, because Jamaica me come from. The Queen is head of state in Jamaica. So for the Queen, if you go send a letter come on my door, I need to get up out of here quickly. This is serious. Me didn't know so the Queen not even know me or care about my case. The Queen was just a figurehead that was used. You see, when you're young and when you're young and you don't know nothing, I'm like, the Queen send letter come on my door, brother. I have to go. This I don't know, Queen. I laugh my ass off like years later when we look back on it. Me say, no, I don't know, Queen did send no letter come on my door. They just used her as a figurehead on these letters, but it's friggin' scary. Left your green card for third fugitive. Hear how that story at end. Me not give you the rest of the story, but hear how it end. Me tell you this before. Someone don't hear it already. When me reach back at the US, me say a lady said, come with me, please. So take up my liquor bag. And me I said, fire, I wonder if me have drugs for me. I wonder if somebody plant something for me. Because them carry me going at the back room, you know. The lady put your suitcase up here. Could you open that? Open it. She said, how long you been out the country? While she had dig up me something and all this, then she take my papers and everything. She had look through my passport. See me, I don't know what go on. She said, sit right there. I'll be right back. I said, fuck. Them find something for me. Me, I got prison. I'm afraid, you know. Me, I got prison. The lady come back. She gave me back my papers. She said, one more day. If you had come in today, if you had come in tomorrow instead of today, you would have been on the first thing smoking back to Jamaica. You wouldn't be allowed to enter the US. See me here? Backside. Cause again, me young. When you're young and you're dumb and you don't know nothing, but nobody can tell you nothing because you know everything. I didn't know about the US immigration laws. I thought green card mean me there indefinitely. Me never know say you can't stay out of the country. And me never know say that we take it away from you. So here I am at the airport getting ready to be deported, and this lady is seriously considering, should I put him on, I think the lady said what saved me wherever, because I did there from how old. But she was like, what saved you was the difference between coming in today versus tomorrow. Had you come in tomorrow, you would have been on the first thing smoking out of here to Jamaica. Just like that. Have a nice day. Don't do this again. You want to see me little heart a beat, me grab my baggy, see man. And when me tell you something, me shut it up out of there. When me reach outside, say me, oh, me there, them no deport. Them never deport me. Could I imagine me there, Jamaica, and them a talk about, yeah, see, deport the boy, them come down. I know what him do a foreign, so them fling him out. And at the time, I was pretty young. So, won't never do that again. Learned my lesson and had a great time in the UK. That is why, to this day, when you hear people from the UK say, big up SouFlo. And SouFlo, we watch your thing all the time. You know, when you come into the UK, I'm like, I'll soon be there. But you notice I'm not reach yet. I'll soon be there. Because in my mind, I'm watching these other immigration shows now. And me notice how people fly, go all the way over there. So that flight's so long. And when them reach, right, they ask them like 4 or 5 questions, and then me hear, well, you won't be entering today. You'll be on the first thing smoking back to the UK. I remember those same words. So me know, me know I go all the way over there. So for them to tell me, say, oh, you've been here before. Ah, and you overstayed. All right, then. Give us a minute, love. And then come back and talk about, well, you won't be entering today. You'll be on the first thing smoking back to the US. I can't have it. So I take my time and go through. Eventually, it's on my bucket list to be back in the UK though. But me don't know. Me don't want to go through that something again. Too long if you ask me. Only 6 hours from here. No, so the flight is longer than that. I took that flight from Miami International Airport. That flight was like 12 hours or something like that. Only 6 months from where you're at, Dorothy T. Where you're there. So yeah, come on, me turn deportee, my friend. Anyhow, the last one we're gonna talk about this morning now. You're good, bro. You're an American citizen now. That's what everybody says. And back then, I was so young. I bought my plane ticket to the UK at age 17, but I couldn't travel out of the country without parents' permission. And my mother said she not sign off upon nothing. You know, your Jamaican parents. I wish where you are the way over there, sir. No, stay which part me can't see you. So I waited. I bought it when I was 17 to fly out on the day after my 18th birthday. So the week that leading up to my 18th birthday, I buy that. I make up my mind to me I go to England. Because you can't tell me nothing. I want to go see the world and all that kind of something. Boy, a bag of things happen after. But it was all for the learning. I'm a grown man now. I look back on those days. Beside me, the young and wild and adventurous, you know. All I wanted to do was live life. And all I wanted to do was learn about the rest of the world and be happy, you know, from then. Anyhow, yeah. So maybe it's easier for me to go in now, but I'm telling y'all right now, if I try it, I'm gonna be vlogging the whole experience. And if I don't see me for a video, get it turned back, nobody laugh after me. Dorothy T says 6 hours and 35 minutes exactly. When you go, you hold the children and give Shakira the passport and don't worry about a thing. All right. Hold you to that. We're gonna try it because it's on our list. All right. Last one for the morning now. Let's talk about this Tory Lanez something as we get out of here, my friend. So Tory Lanez yesterday was sentenced to 10 years in a federal prison for shooting Megan Thee Stallion for firing a firearm in a public space. And I believe he had a conviction before and he was in possession of a firearm. So that was also a charge. You know what's funny to me? Let me say this out loud. It coming like black women need to be protected from black women. Yeah, be in your feelings because I said that. I think black men need to be protected from black men too, but I think coming like black women need to be protected from black women. All the man have to do is be famous or have a little bit of something, clout or something, and you'll have a bag of women who are willing, a bag of sisters who are willing to say, that man didn't do nothing wrong, you lying. The man shoot the girl. The girl stood up in court and said he's right there. Can you tell us who shot you on that day, June 19th, whatever? She was like, Daystar Peterson. Do you see Daystar Peterson in this courtroom today? Yes, I do. Can you point to Daystar Peterson? He's right there. I should point him out. I mean, it doesn't get any more. It doesn't get any more than that. If you shoot me never dead. Me go tell the police I say me foot them shoot me. I him do it. Me watch him shoot me. One more proof she needs. One more proof she needs. But if you look online, right, there's a whole lot of comments about her career is over. Me see one girl say yesterday for a damn pinky toe. You shot somebody in a pinky toe and get 10 years. That wasn't worth it. She said that wasn't justice. They gave that man way too much time for a damn pinky toe. It doesn't matter which part of me you shoot. But these are women who I thought would be rejoicing like the system stood up for a black woman. Enough black women get abused and them don't tell, and they can't tell, and they hide it because they feel like the system ain't going to help them anyways. What y'all going to do? Jail him for 30 days so he can come back out and kill me, right? Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, SouFLo. How are you?
I'm good, family. How are you doing this morning?
Good, good.
Talk to
So
it.
I stayed up all last night watching some TikTok lives on Tory Lanez. And basically, this guy he has a track record.
He has a track record.
This guy has priors here in the US, Canada, where he's from, and even England.
Oh, wow.
This guy, and it's so funny, we were just talking about England. This guy had, I don't know the terminologies, but basically, you was on probation.
Right, I know about that.
Right, and you had a gun, dude.
Right. He violated his probation. That's another part of his sentence.
Thing too.
Right, right.
Plus, you're black.
Yeah.
You're a male.
Yeah.
You're Canadian.
Yeah. Or you're not American.
You're not American. Okay, you're not American.
You're an immigrant. That's right.
This dude has a problem.
Boy. You know what's funny? What's funny is that in the courtroom, they tried to blame it on alcoholism, right? And he was like, he was self-medicating. But check this out. This is how people don't think. If you're going to blame it on alcohol and said, Your Honor, at sentencing, please have some leniency on my client because, he's an alcoholic. He's addicted to alcohol. He uses it to help himself or whatever. And when this incident happened, he was so drunk, he didn't even remember the next day what happened. This is at sentencing, right? Y'all follow me?
Right.
Okay. Why was your whole case about you didn't do it? And then when it came time for sentencing, I did it because of alcohol.
Yeah.
You can't have both.
Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right. You can't have both. You can't say you didn't do it. And then when it's time for sentencing, you said, I was drunk. But you're still maintaining that you didn't do it. So he was tied up. He was tied up anyways.
His lawyers too, in the sense of that should have been done before, not on sentencing date.
Right. Exactly. But that would have only able to have been done if he admitted to what he did. And I did another video where I said Tory should have went in there crying from day one. This is me, right? I would have been bawling from day one. I would have been saying, Your Honor, I'm on ecstasy. I'm on crack. I smoke weed. I mix my weed with heroin. I'm a junkie. Yes, I'm a junkie. I'm on the fentanyl. I take the needle every now and then. And I was drunk. And I'm partying in the Hollywood Hills. And I lost my mind that night. I did not do that from a clear-minded space. I need help. I need addiction counseling. Put me in a rehab center. I can be a better person. And I'm so remorseful and sorry for what I did. That's how he should have went in there. But he didn't.
You know what somebody said? Somebody said he's suffering from Napoleon complex because he's like, what, 5'3" or something like that?
Yeah, I think he's like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, he's gonna have to do them 10 years now, though.
Yeah, but it's gonna boil down to 8. But he's another thing too. He's lucky. He only got 10. It was supposed to be 20, right?
It was started out at 24. Then it went to 22. Then it went to 13, and he got 10. Right, so he's very lucky.
But that was also discussion on the live last night too of the amount of females were actually like trolling and saying free Tory.
Right, free Tory. He ain't do nothing.
He ain't do nothing. And myself was commenting like, who? Girls, really?
Yeah. I've seen some of them say, I've removed every one of her songs off my playlist. I don't want to hear that B music no more.
Wow.
Yeah. If she come to my city, I'm never going to see her again. I always go see her, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a supporter of her anymore.
So you're canceling a woman because she got shot by a very troubled man.
Right. Right. We need to be protected from us. That's how I see that. Yeah.
But you know what? There's still hope though. Because when you see Alabama.
Yeah. That fight on the boardwalk. You know what? I couldn't cover that one. I couldn't. You know why I couldn't cover it, right? I couldn't cover that one. I thought about it. Yeah.
When I saw Aquaman.
I told wifey last night. I said, you know what? I can't. I want to cover it, but I can't cover it because. And she immediately said, because you can't cover it without being a little bit right. I would say, yeah, right. I can't because then it would bring trouble. But yeah.
Oh my God! But you know what I love about it too? The amount of white folks I saw came out in defense.
Yeah, but they usually do that after we get, some kind of victory. Some kind of victory. But yeah, that was hilarious. Aquaman.
Aquaman. I hope some school, he's only 16. I hope some school I give him a swimming scholarship or something.
And they say black people can't swim, right?
Yes.
That boy proved every stereotype wrong in life.
He Caribbean. He can swim.
Hey, I was tired watching him swim to the fight. I was like,
you know which angles
he climbing up? I said, he climbing up. I'm tired. After that swim, I'm tired. Boy, that boy got up and went in there.
I took off his shoes.
Yeah. But that's how we should be. That's how we should be. But
I love how that's unfortunately it had to happen. But a lot of the stereotypes that surround black people were debunked.
Yep. In an instant.
I just love how those three brothers ran up skipping.
They don't like each other.
Once somebody skipping up to you, it's about a problem. To pop off.
Did you see the one who got his face beat? He said two black eyes. He came on. He was like, "Boy, I tell you that 65-year-old man, he can really throw."
Yes, he could throw them.
He can really throw them hands, boy. I tell you. That black no crack boy, so 65 funny. Will hurt you.
I'm gonna send you the video. I usually send you stuff. I'm gonna send you another video with a young lady saying it didn't stop there.
Right.
They went to the hospital, the whole crew, because they're family members. Right? They went to the hospital, And forget, but you could relate to this because you're in health.
See.
They went to the hospital and realized there's a whole bunch of brown and black people. And they were using the N-word rather liberally and said they don't want any medical attention. And the cops told them, well, if you don't want, you gotta go.
So there's more.
There's more.
Send it, come get me.
Yes.
All right.
There's more.
I'll be looking out for it.
Have a good day. So
when
white people keep on making excuses, no, they're not racist. They were just agitated and the alcohol, No, they're racist.
Yeah, exactly. And thought they could put hands on that man and nothing would happen.
No, they thought they could have embarrassed a black man and put him in his place.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Stay in your place, boy.
It didn't work out well.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. You don't say it. Fuck around and find out.
All right. All right.
Fuck around and find out. We live in America. We know what that means.
All right. All right.
Later, SouFlo.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yo, I didn't want to come that one because I would have been way inappropriate. I don't want them come cancel the liquor thing what we have going on here, right? Wake up tomorrow morning and there ain't no show because we were overboard yesterday. But yes, who said the chair should be put in an African museum? There are so many memes out right now with that chair. Oh, man. But that was good to see. But that's only a slither of what we could actually be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting violence, but I'm all about self-defense and protection of you and your people, and we could be that. That was beautiful to see, man. And who said black people can't swim? Aquaman got to it like his business. I was like, yo, I'm tired. Me, I watch the boy I swim. I say, yo, that swim that would have killed me. I don't know if I could have fight after that swim there. But he young, apparently, he jump up out of the water and got to business. That's what's up. So anyhow, yeah, Tory, this is the thing about Megan why I think she should not be canceled. Let's go out like this morning, right? She gave that man every chance in the world. I see Iggy Azalea wrote a letter on Tory Lanez behalf, and then so many black people jump on it about, this is puzzling to me because here's a white woman trying to protect a black man, but it's a black woman that's trying to sink him. Bitch, if you shot me, I'm trying to sink you too. What the? But anyhow, she gave him every chance in the book, man. She wasn't saying nothing. Did you know that the DA out in California where it happened, and I learned through the court case that this man emptied off the whole clip. He emptied the whole clip. Dance, bitch, dance. Bah, 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 bah. And they say he was laughing loud and he emptied the whole clip in a residential area. It was the gunshots that was waking up people. I live in a quiet area, residential area. If pin drop around us at night time, we hear it. So can you imagine letting off a gun in our residential area? That's crazy, right? But she gave him every chance. And she wasn't saying anything to the media. She wouldn't even do a proper interview with the DA. When they were trying to build a case, a young lady got shot in our vicinity. We got to find out who did this, right? Because she is also a famous person. We don't want this to come back looking bad on our city. So let's get this investigation on the way. First, we need to sit and talk with her and find out all we can from her. She told them nothing. You know when that girl started talking? She started talking like about a month, 2 months, 3 months. She started talking way after. Because Tory went on a tear Megan Thee Stallion down campaign and had a lot of people joining him. And her bookings were drying up because people were like, I don't know how this about to turn out. We don't even know if you're really lying or not. Plus, her foot was hurt, so she was on rest. Anyways, she wasn't popping out to no parties and shows and whatnot, right? He's there busy online, damaging her character, soiling up her name, painting her to be a liar, all kinds of stuff. And that's when she said, she tried to reach out to him. He didn't want to hear it. She said, cease and desist. Stop doing this. I'm not saying nothing. Why are you telling everybody all this? He kept going. You see when that clout get to your head? and all these people behind you and all these yes men around you telling you, go, do it. Say this SouFlo. Say that. Say this. Say that. And you like, yeah, you the man. Yeah, I am. You say all kinds of stupid stuff. Then it come back to bite you. She got on Instagram one day, and I was on there and I'm watching it, and she goes, okay, since y'all want to know what really happened, since everybody is acting like I'm the villain, let me tell you what really happened. That nigga Tory shot me. Yeah, I said it. Tory Lanez shot me. It was that piece of video when she said that. Because when you're online, you're monitored. Law enforcement was watching because she just got shot up in LA. So law enforcement from there took it, saved it, and said, bring, hey, we just saw your video on IG. You finally admitted that it was the artist Tory Lanez that shot you, right? He was in your company. We saw him that night. So, hey, how about you come on over and let's finish up a proper interview? Blah, blah, blah. She ain't telling them nothing. They building their case. This is not Jamaica. It ain't like Jamaica where, oh, I don't want to press charges and your eye out to here. Man, beat them supposed to Jamaica, you know. Yeah, bust up gone all out there, so you know. Remember the video we did where the female was disemboweled by her man? She walk in through a little trailer, go home, and the man jump out of the bush, cut out her belly. You saw when she went down to the police station. You saw what she did? Me no want do nothing. Me I make it known now. Me no want press no charges upon him. And the police couldn't go any further with it. That's not the U.S. In the U.S., they're going all the way with it. But by then, the relationship between Tory and Meg had already all the way soured because he had spent so much time. We learned through the case that he also was paying vloggers to spew stuff about her. So the smear campaign was up and running fully. And she was like, oh no, it ain't going to go like this. So he had already casted so many doubts out there. This is what you hear people saying now. I wonder if it was her homegirl that really shot her and not him. Why are they setting him up? Here's my thing. If you're a grown man, right? He's 31. He's a grown man. He could have went on the stand against my lawyer's wishes because the lawyer can't tell you not to take the stand. They could advise you, but they can't prevent you. So me, looking at all them years, if I didn't do it, I'm understand. Listen, Your Honor, it wasn't me. It was her or it was him. And I'll tell you exactly what happened that night. No, this man stayed quiet the whole time. You have something to hide, buddy. You got something to hide. So I'm not of the belief that he lied or she lied. I'm of the belief that he shot her and it was proven in court and she gave you a chance and you didn't use it. And there you go. Kind of like the Tasha K Cardi B situation where Cardi B kept cease and desisting and keep my name out your mouth and stop this and stop that, you know, and that whole, you got lawyers, I got lawyers too. Let's do this. What? Okay, you see how that ended, right? $3 million in judgment of Cardi B. Yeah, so it's best to just chill. But shout out to Tory. He's about to be gone for a while, a decade. Somebody says he won't do more than 8 years. I don't even think he'll do 8 years. I think he'll do probably about 4 or 5 years and then they'll deport him if it comes to that. But Tory is a millionaire that has properties in the U.S. and business, multi-million-dollar business in the U.S. So will they really deport him though? We'll see. Audrey Wright says Tory never did learn him lesson from the Tasha K debacle. Apparently he didn't. He was just out here slandering that poor girl. So now that they're having this Megan Thee Stallion smear her up campaign and she's a snitch and she this and I don't know. This generation is just upside down and it's like good is bad for them, up is down for them. It's like if you see somebody shoot in your neighborhood and kill Miss Jackie little 9-year-old son, if you go tell, yep, hey officer, I saw it. It's Marcus. His name is Marcus Jean. He lives 2 blocks over. Oh, you a snitch. What? That's how this new generation is. That's how they run. You know? Oh, that's not a good person right there. You tell him. Why you say he's not a good person, SouFlo? You know that guy killed his own mom, right? Okay, so We don't care. He rich and he famous. And I like his music. He killed his mom, dog. That don't have nothing to do with me. He ain't killed my mama. It's weird. We're living in weird times, man. Yeah. But the sad thing is that this is how our youths have been programmed. So now they're growing up into grown people with this kind of a mentality in them. Watching the YNW Melly case, I realized that like they didn't even care about no evidence or anything that was being presented. They just keep repeating the same thing. Free YNW Melly, free YNW Melly. It's the same way they're with Tory Lanez. Free Tory Lanez, free Tory Lanez. They didn't care about no evidence or nothing. She's a liar. Free him. That's it. Poor thing them. Anyways, we're going to leave this one right here, man. Just remember, actions have consequences, okay? And move consciously. Oh, let me share this with you before I go. Yesterday, I pull up to my daughter's school. There's no parking in the regular parking lot. I see a group of people coming out different cars. I stop my truck. I say, could y'all tell me where to get parking? Because the parking lot's full. One lady jumped out first, one girl. She said, oh, you're going to have to go around the other side and come back through the gate and park on the grass. I said, okay, thank you. As I'm getting ready to drive off, our man come from behind the vehicle. See the man to me? So I'm about to drive off. See me? I steer him down just like that the whole time. He got to the back of my truck. I said, you good? Him said, yeah, brother, I'm good. You good? I said, yeah, I'm good. Him still look upon me, see him with. Like, he's mad because his woman told me where, or because I spoke, and he must think that she me ask alone or something like, don't talk to my woman. All right, I get out of the car now, and we got in line to get into the school. And when I got out the car, the brother is at my breast. Like his head top stop on my nipple, right? So I'm obviously like way bigger than he is. And I could see it from how I was walking towards him, but me I walk towards him for join the line. Him look me up and down. Quick, one time. I never looked my way the rest of the time he was there. I was standing next to him until it was my time to change line and going on next line. My point of the story is this. I don't know why we do this as Black people, but when we see other people come in Syria, hi, good morning, hi, have a nice day, thank you, yes, you're so funny, oh my God. But when we see each other come in, watch us. Like, where we get that from? So try practicing that today, right? When you see your people around you, it starts with us. So when you see your people around you, try not to do this. And give them no silly look. Try keep a smile on your face. Try say hi. Try something. I'm not telling the woman to go talk to strange man, you know. And next thing you over here, but I don't want to press charges. Come on. I'm just saying, just try being nice to each other. Because we seem to be nice to everybody else except for us, right? That's why I was saying earlier, it seems like we need to be protected from us. Anyhow, with that said, again, remember consequences of actions, and remember karma is real. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. God spare my life, right here on Morning Thoughts. Bless upon yourself. I'm out. Peace.